fuel issue. The other mechanic, he put a fuel pump in, and I kind of finished it up and stuff, hooked it up. It's not running right. It's not right. I'm actually going to have to pull out the fuel pump. I'm going to have to redo it. The fuel pump wasn't put in correctly. I know he didn't time it, and we mentioned something about it. I even looked on it and said, I think these marks, and it didn't seem like it. He just said there was nothing, and then didn't have to be timed. I actually just spoke to Brian at Sheboygan Freightliner at Truck Country in Sheboygan, and Brian is the shop manager. And I talked to him and told him what the problem was. We got the fuel pump from him, told him what was going on and everything, and he said, you know, he asked me a few questions. I said, dude, I didn't put it in. I know for a fact he didn't time it. He said, that's got to be timed. He said, if it's not timed, it will not run correctly. So it has to be timed, and so I got to tear it back apart again. Brian has been I got to tell you that the Truck Country in Sheboygan has been really cool. I had an issue with those guys at one point in time with some work they did on Big Blue, and they broke a bolt and didn't tell me and all that stuff. But I tell you what, those guys have been very beneficial to ADL. They've been very helpful on some things in helping us out. You call up a place out here, they will not even talk to you, but they have been really good. But I'm waiting for the boss man to show up. We're going to have a discussion of what has to happen next and stuff like that. But until then, there is a, what's this thing called? It's a ASR valve. And it's what controls all the brake system and the ABS and everything back here. And it's faulty on this truck. It's been throwing codes and stuff. So we have a new one to put on here, and they are a pain in the butt. They are horrible to do. And you want to know where it's located? Right underneath this fifth wheel. It's up here on the frame. It's got all kinds of, they're horrible to get all to the hoses and stuff. It's really bad. There's no room in there. Drive shaft's in your way and everything. And this needs to be replaced. I was sitting here thinking, you know what? What's the easiest way to do this? And I decided, yank the fifth wheel off. Get the fifth wheel off here. We have a forklift. So just yank the bolts for the fifth wheel, hook a chain onto the fifth wheel, bring the forklift in here, yank this whole fifth wheel assembly right off. Boom, right there's the valve. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the fifth wheel off here. So these bolts are going to be pretty good. They're just a 15/16. And there's 2, 4, 6, 8, there's 10 bolts on each side. Okay, so let's pull this on off. I got all the bolts pulled out. Make sure nothing's hitting. Well, guys, I guess plans have changed. The mechanic showed up and wondered why I pulled the fifth wheel off. I told him to make your life easier for your job you gotta do. I don't know. I guess he decided he wasn't gonna do it or whatever, and I can't do the other stuff on there because we don't have all the parts. So I am going to be changing out this valve. I'm going to change out the valve and seal up the differential. So basically all we're doing is disconnecting a bunch of hoses. pretty corroded in there. So there's our old valve. Here's our new one. And so basically what I need to do is just take all the fittings off, one by one. Just take them off, screw them on there, pipe the sealant on there, and get them all ready. And then this one will just get bolted right up to it. Go right in its place. So I'm going to take it over to device and do this over device. Easier to clap in device and everything else. And I'll do that and I'll be back. Alright guys, we got all our fittings put onto this new valve. So we'll just bolt her back up. Pretty simple stuff. Pretty simple stuff. There we go, guys. Valve is changed. The other mechanic was, it is what it is. It is a pain in the butt. It really is. This looked really simple and everything, because I took the fifth wheel plate off. And he was like, I've never seen me do that. 20 bolts with an impact, lift it off with the forklift, boom. I mean, I bet you half an hour, maybe. Half an hour, 40 minutes it's taken me. Alright guys, now we're doing the differential. And it's leaking right at the bottom of here, right on the bottom. And here's something for you guys. If you drive truck or you got a trucking company, whatever, and you got a leaky differential and you go to get this fixed, tell them do not use silicone. Never, 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 never use silicone. It leaks every time. Silicone is a soft material and it's pliable. It moves. This is a very high torque situation here. You got a lot of torque going in this drive shaft, moving this around. It's trying to move this. And you got a lot of bolts around it that are really torqued heavy to keep it from not moving. Well, the silicone lets it move back and forth. And guess what? Eventually, it's going to develop a crack in a hole and it's going to leak. It does it every time. Put actual Diff gasket material in there. It's harder and it's for higher torque situations. It's not that hard to get. I don't know why every truck stop, whenever they go in there, they always put silicone, but they always do. But some of you guys have seen me do this before. I've done this on other trucks before around here. But I thought I would just show what I have done around here, because I used to not have a forklift sitting there. And even with the forklift, the front diff is a big problem because you got this extra gearbox on the front, so and it's off to the side. So when you pull it out, you pull this whole diff assembly out, it wobbles and goes. It's really hard to get back in. So what I did is I actually went out and I bought some guide pins that are the same thread and the same size and everything, but a lot longer. And I have these placed all around the differential in different holes. You can see another one down there. There's a couple more down there. There's one over the corner, one there. And I put the guide pins in there, and I take all the bolts out, and then I crack the seal, and I just slide the differential straight up on those guide pins. It just slides right up. And then I can just reach in between there, clean the surface and everything, put the new material on there, slide it right back in. It works so good, guys. It's so much easier. And with the front differentials, with the rear, I don't really need to do this because it's not. There's a lot of weight here. So I usually put a strap up here, and I usually put it up here to on the yoke like this to support the front, because that's a lot of weight on those bolts. So basically, first step you gotta do is just disconnect the drive shaft, which I do. I have the drive shaft just hanging straight down there. Got it on my old trusty rope. People tell me I should stop using, but it works good. And then the next step, or you can do it before, whatever, is to take the actual axles out. And you just pull all those nuts off. Right there's the axles. You pull the axles out and you just pull them out of there. Make sure you got the new gaskets for that. My little oil container here fell out of the wheel from me pounding, but it actually fell upright. And you can see, wiggle, wiggle. That's really enough. That's really all you're going to need. So now I just have to get in between there. Just clean this up. And you can see that I use that chisel there. It kind of damages a little bit of the edge. It's okay. It's on top. You'll never get a leak on top here. Okay. But when I clean it up, I will take a little bit of a little mini grinder thing and just run it over the surface. And I'll just take that little burr off that I just created. It's no big deal. Alright guys, we got it all cleaned up. Now we can apply our sealant. And the stuff that I use, is this right here. This is the only thing I find out here. It's very similar to the stuff I get in Wisconsin, but I use a different brand. But it's just gear oil. It's gear oil gasket maker, and it's made for high torque areas in gearboxes. This is an old tube that I had in the toolbox. See if we got enough in here to do this. The tip is all. So the easiest way that get this back in, and I've found, you do a pull strap. I've done that before. Put a piece of pipe. There she is. Right back in. So now I just put my bolts all back in there and start tightening it all up. Alright guys, now we just got to put the axles back in. And I don't really know how much. Let me where it is. Okay. Me and the boss used to argue about this when I first came here. He would tell me that he wanted silicone around there. And I was like, what? You don't put silicone around there. Those go on dry. The gaskets go on dry. No, they don't. You don't put silicone on, they're going to leak again. I was like, what? And it's like, all right, you're the boss. I'll put silicone on there. So I put silicone on there. Put this here gasket on there. Put the axle on there. Put the nuts on there. Tighten them up. And I could see it every time. There was like 3 or 4 trucks this happened to in a row. What happens is when you tighten this up and you have that silicone in there, when you tighten it up, it's a pretty tight fit, and when you tighten it up like that, the silicone smooshes out, and it would tear the gasket. I would see the chunks of the gasket come out every time, and I'd be like, and I showed it to him, he's like, no, it'll be good. A couple weeks later,
He's telling me, yeah, one of your axles leaked. The driver had to take it into a TA, and I'm like, silicone. I'm telling you, put it in dry. No, you don't. You're not doing something right. I'm like, yeah, I am. And I talked to him and I said, listen, every one that I've ever done, you put them in dry, and then you put new nuts on every time, and you torque them down to 180 foot-pounds, and you put a drop of oil, just a little drop of oil in each one, torque it on 180 foot-pounds. You got to have a clean surface. I use brake cleaner to clean it and everything, and you make sure it's very good clean surface, and you put them together that way. You won't have any leaks. We kind of fought about it a little bit. I don't really know what it was all about. Sometimes these can be a booger. There it is. And then one time we were on the phone with Freightliner, or we were at a Freightliner or something, and he was saying or something, and I said, hey, let me ask you a question. I said, do you torque these axle nuts, these on the outside of the axles, the 5/8 thread ones, the fine thread? I said, do you put silicone in there? And the guy looked at him, no. He goes, you put silicone in those will leak. My boss is in right there. After he left it, my boss said, all right, you do it your way. Haven't had one leak since. So, put those on dry. I know people do it. I know they say, I don't even use washers. Okay. I don't know where my washers are. I know people don't even put a gasket in. They just put silicone around there. Oh, okay. There we go. Don't do that. If you don't believe me, call up a company that makes bearings and ask them that question. Say that you're putting silicone in there. Bad idea. When you smush it in there, that silicone is going to smush inside there, and it's going to get inside and get into that bearing, and it's going to turn into like spaghetti, all winding up in there, heating the little ball bearings up and stuff. Not good, meter. Not good. These go on dry. Now I always put new nuts on, and I got him to buy me new nuts last time I did, or 2 times ago. But guess what? I'm going to be one shy. It'll probably be fine. I'm going to be one shy. There you go. That is not going to leak. It will not leak. Impact all these nice and tight. And my nightly little cleanup. Got most of the tools all picked up. Pretty much done with that. So I had to kind of clean everything up to move the forklift through there. Pretty much just a cleanup of me.
get a full night's sleep down there. I don't know how much more I will be out here. I don't know. The boss has done this a few times. He has brought another mechanic in here and stuff, and always kind of booger something up or don't do something right or whatever. And it's always been the kind of me out driving more. I don't know. I kind of felt that way. Now there's this other guy here, and I kind of felt that way that I've been a little bit pushed out. That he kind of didn't want me to shop as much anymore or something. But then, you know, I gotta go and do certain things, whatever. But yeah, I kind of actually had a talk with him tonight, and pretty much told me that he wants me out driving and not working in the shop. He's like, if I have a big job, like a big major thing, then I'll have you come. But otherwise, yeah, I'm gonna have you drive. So, guess that's the way it's gonna be. I don't know. Kind of made me a little upset for a little bit. Be honest with you. You know, because I have put a lot of hard work into getting this to where it is, and being able to do this stuff. And like this other mechanic said to me, I can't believe you're rebuilding that motor here with these tools and everything else. And he goes, I can't believe it. You know. So it did. I think it made me a little upset, but then it's like whatever. It's whatever. You know, I've put a lot of work into getting this shop the way it is and getting it stocked the way it is and everything, and then it's kind of like, okay, no, go away. You know. I think that if I wanted to move out here to Maryland, well, then I'd have a full-time job here. But there's no way in the world I'd ever move out here. Ever, ever, ever. I'm going to tell you that I really do not like it here. I do not like it in Maryland at all. People are just so rude and just, it is a culture shock going from Upper Michigan here. Oh, it is so different. It's not even crazy. It's unbelievable. But there's no way I'll ever move out here. So, you know, he's got to do what he's got to do. He wants to have a shop here. You know. So, I don't know. He's tried this in the past. He's tried it with some other mechanic guys. And it hasn't worked out. I can wish him luck, and hopefully it works out for him. He's able to get the things done he needs. I'll hook up these lines while I'm staring at them, huh? Alright. This is the fifth little release. This is the slide. Slide is this one. So I just got to grab the impact and run through here and just impact all these up tight. And I'm going to let you guys go because I'm out of here. I'm going to hit the road. So I hope everyone out there is enjoying these videos and having a great day, great night to watch them. And if you're not, certainly just try that all over again tomorrow. I'll catch you guys later. See ya.